Chapter 1. Approach and First Contact. Captain's log: we crossed the heliopause of our own system 12 months ago, and it feels like a year of weather and a lifetime of memory. The ship hums like a patient animal. Today we entered the starfield that maps this planet. The automated scans show a mosaic of climates, ruins embedded in the geology like scars of a giant machine. I am the only human aboard the massive futuristic interstellar spacecraft on active duty. I descended to the rendezvous coordinates, hoping the alien they call the Mindkeeper would be there. She was waiting at the edge of a bioluminescent meadow as dawn bled over glassy spires. Her presence is a low chorus in my head, now a comforting instrument that indexes the landscape in ways my instruments cannot. She guided me to a basalt monolith that thrummed faintly with ancient code. She told me the device we seek is not an object alone, but a network, an energetic pattern that sleeps in the bones of the planet. We started at a place where grass glows like blue fire, and insects paint the air with light. Chapter 2. Ice Below the Sun. Captain's log: the meadow gave way to blue glass and a stretch of ice fields carved with veins of metal. The alien mapped tunnels of thermal flow below the glacier with her mind, and led the way while I maintained the ship's beacon and recorded telemetry. The ice hides the first of the ancient nodes. We suited up and found a half-buried port opening like a healed wound. A chorus of crystalline wind and the footfalls of something large accompanied our descent. Her thoughts painted architecture in the air, a language of lines and pressure that my instruments translated into a door code. I felt how small my tools were against a civilization that could braid planetary energy. We slipped inside, and the light went liquid. Chapter 3. Jungle of Glass and Sound. Captain's log: the heat hit like a confession. Below the glacier the terrain bends to tropics where leaves fold like glass and vines sing when brushed. The ancient city here is a forest in itself, towers of living architecture fused with gears. She named the sound patterns, and I learned to listen. Creatures like flying kelp threaded the canopy, and an enormous herbivore snoozed between columns of luminescent fungus. In the hollow core of a skyward tower, we found a chamber of scaffolding and mirrors. The alien extended a synaptic thread into the stone and pulled images out of it, memory like threads from a loom. The device's signature whispered near a ruined antenna that once hugged the planet like a net. Chapter 4. Dunes of Whispering Glass. Captain's log: we crossed a belt of deserts that sing. The sand here is glass, not grain, moving under solar wind into shapes that look almost alive. Time becomes visible as layers of fused pattern. The device's signature fractured across the dunes like a shard of melody. We chased echoes and followed marks etched into the dunes by creatures that map magnetism with their bodies. At midday an undulating predator rose and circled us, questioning our purpose. She reached into its mind with a calm touch and translated the creature's route into coordinates. Those coordinates took us toward a sunken plaza half swallowed by glass that reflected the sky into an impossible lattice. Chapter 5. The Forest of Memory. Captain's log: we found a pocket of woods where the leaves replay images when wind passes through them. The trees here are memory vessels. Each rustle shows scenes of the ancient people, their celebrations, or their last nights. She touched one trunk, and a flood of sequences poured out the architecture of their process for generating and storing planetary energy. It was a map encoded as seasons and weather patterns. The device we seek was shown to us for a moment as a lattice of light laid across the planet core. But the memory was fragmented, and the final piece was in a ruined technological city guarded by fauna that move like moving stones. To reach it we had to decode ritual pathways and align the seasonal echoes. Chapter 6. The Core Chamber. Captain's log: we followed the lattice down. The descent felt like falling through a memory into metal. The chamber at the core of the ruins is a cathedral of machinery and living crystal. Pillars of refracted light rotate, and a faint heartbeat of power pulses through the plinth where the device once sat. She reached into the network and found it fractured into 3 harmonics. My suit recorded interference as if the planet were tuning itself. To retrieve the pattern, she merged parts of her mind with devices that had slept for eons. It asked questions in images and smells, and I answered in touch and stubbornness. When the pattern reassembled, it sang like a bridge between two worlds. We had the device, but the chamber demanded balance. I watched her concentrate until a quiet line formed on her face, and the machine accepted her touch. Chapter 7: Return and Resonance. Captain's log. The ascent was both quiet and intolerable. The device thrummed in its containment field like a sleeping star. She wove a psychic bridge that sang to the ship and to me to steady the transfer. I carried the capsule to the cargo bay of the massive futuristic interstellar spacecraft as storms rolled across the planet like paint. On board, we linked the device into the ship's matrix and fired a beacon pulse toward Earth. The waveform was raw and ancient, and it will take months to propagate and longer for the response. She stayed on the planet as custodian promised to awaken 1,000 sleeping nodes to balance the recovery. In my visor, I saw the meadow again, and in her eyes I saw home. We were two species stitched together by a single song. I cannot say whether it will be enough. For now, the log ends with a small hope that a pattern from a dead star can save the living world we left behind.